This week on the episode, we are bringing on Lou Garrett. I'm so thrilled to have you on. I love Lou. Her smile, look at her. Her smile is contagious and her laugh is amazing. And Lou, you have such a huge heart.
Oh,
So,
thank you.
yeah, thanks for coming on. And tell us a little bit about you. Where are you located? What do you do?
Well, thank you for having me. I live in Dallas, Texas. Been born and raised, basically, went to school in Denver, go Pioneers. And but I'm back in Dallas and loving it. So I have 23 nieces and nephews, 24 on the way. So they are a huge part of my life. And it's all about teaching them how to be kind humans.
So, and that's what we can, for those watching, but for those listening, you have started Pass the Love movement or summit. What do you call it and what is it?
Okay, so there's actually two different things. Pass the Love is the nonprofit organization that basically teaches kids how to stop the hate and pass the love, teaching them that it's cool to be kind, basically. And then the summits are the Pass the Love Kindness Summits I do once a month, where I invite people who are doing good things in the world to come and talk about it. Because, you hear a lot about negativity and the crazy stuff that's happening in the world, but you don't hear about the good stuff. And there's a lot of good that's happening. And that's the premise of the summits, is to start talking about kindness, start talking about the good things that people are doing and starting those conversations so that it can, ultimately inspire other people to do it as well.
So much more of a domino effect. And
Exactly.
I think what we've talked about previously is I stopped watching the news. It's been quite a while because the news is such a downer, but for some reason that our society has created that's how you make money. Drama creates money, negativity makes money. And so you're going on the reverse.
And that's been true. Unfortunately, that is the case. And yeah, we did discuss that. I stopped watching the news a long time ago too. But a couple of years ago, there was all kinds of craziness happening with police shootings, both directions, and it was a point where it was happening all the time, and I couldn't find a way to get away from it. And it was really weighing me down. And I was just thinking, why are we here? Why are we in this state? And so that ultimately was the reason to start Pass the Love, because it was too much. It was too much, and it still is too much. And so we just got to start talking more about how to make things better, how to make things more positive. And like I said, there are people who are doing such great things in the world, and we just need to hear about those things.
And I know because you have so many nieces and nephews, you're starting with them. So what are the different programs you're doing locally or with them to kind of get the fire going?
Gotcha. So organically, it's easy for kids to pick on each other or to tease each other. And, that's kind of part of the growing up process, but sometimes it goes a little too far. And so when I see that with my nieces and nephews, I'm like, hey, you have to stop it right then. And I think that's the thing that we're missing in the world, is that you see stuff happening, but people don't necessarily step in and say, that's not right or whatever. And so that's what I do in my family, is to address it immediately and to have them talk it out, because, kids are just little people, right? They have feelings, they have thoughts, they really do.
Yeah.
As adults, we try to tell them what to think and we try to tell them what to feel, but they are just little people. To get them to talk to each other about it really helps the dynamics of my nieces and nephews. And then I do Pass the Love workshops, where I get kids to come in and we do, mindfulness activities. We talk about kindness. We role play a little bit. And then we, have fun to color, play games and whatnot. But the whole day is revolved around positivity. And if issues come up, again, we address it right then. And ultimately what we want to do is do retreats for kids where it'll be overnight and it'll be more of the same. but yoga, meditation, just getting them introduced to that, because a lot of kids don't receive that type of education in regards to their feelings and how to express their feelings in a positive way. So that's the goal, is to help them express their feelings, not talking about people or not picking on people, but hey, if someone hurt your feelings, to really address it and say, hey, you hurt my feelings, and talk about it. So that's the goal.
So what changes have you seen, if it's with your nieces and nephews or within the community? What positive changes have you seen?
Yeah, so I have 3 nephews who are brothers, who they spend a lot of time with me. So in the summertime, I have them every Tuesday. We hang out. The 2 older ones are twins, so they have that, twin connection bond. And then their younger brother is 3 years younger than them. And so there is a lot of dynamics there where they're twins, and Jeremy is 3 years younger than them. So they tend to pick on him a little bit. And he is like a kid who's like, hey, I'm big too. And so what I've seen with them is that when I get them, before it was more, the whole joking around or whatever. But now if I see it, all I have to do is look at them, and then they'll say, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to hurt your feelings. And it's instant, it's not like there has to be a whole drawn out conversation or a whole whatever. It's that they take pause and think about how they're treating their little brother, and vice versa, because he can, aggravate them as well. And then he takes pause and be like, you know what, I shouldn't have done that. And I see them dialoguing about it, and I love that. And as far as the community goes, it's a little bit of the same. We're in the grassroots part of it right now. And it's just seeing the little things of, people saying thank you. Like during the workshops, one of the workshops I had a little boy. He was just feisty. He was a feisty kid. He wanted to, challenge everything. But by the end of it, he saw the other kids having fun, laughing, having a good time. And he was like, you know what? It was really fun. And every time I see him now, he has a huge smile on his face. So I think it's just planting those seeds. I don't know. I don't think necessarily you're going to see it immediately, but if you plant the seed and then keep reinforcing it, that's what's going to change them and their worlds and their communities.
So what can you offer people to do at home, in their lives, in their communities, maybe at the office? Like what are small things people can do to make changes in their environment?
Yeah, it's really, I like to say that it's a choice every single day. And, everybody deals with difficult people. Everybody deals with challenges. Everybody who works in an office, the culture sometimes is drama filled. Not every office, but a good majority of them. My thing is that everybody has their own stuff, right? You don't know what people are going through. So they may be lashing out. They may be nasty. They may be, whatever, but they are dealing with their stuff. So you have to say, you know what, that has nothing to do with me. And it's taken me a long time to do that, to just take a step back and say, what they're going through has nothing to do with me. So let me just offer a smile or, say hello to people. It literally changes their whole face. Like I did an experiment just the other day where I just went by and I made it a purpose to say hello and to smile at every single person I met. And it was just infectious, because they weren't expecting that. Even though in Texas, we, say hey all the time anyway, because that's just Texans. But it was just a purpose of me specifically looking you in the eye and said, hey, how are you? Hope you have a good day. Well, wherever I was, whether it was in the store or whatever. So my suggestion would be to look at yourself. How would you want to feel? And then admit that, because it really does start with you. It starts with your wanting to make the world a better place and your wanting to be kinder. And like I said, it's difficult with some people, but if you truly want to be the change that you want to see in the world, you have to be the change. And to realize that, again, just because they are doing it this way doesn't mean that it has anything to do with you. That, they have their own stuff. And once people realize that people are dealing with their own stuff, it helps. It helps me, at least, to identify with them and to help them. So I would suggest, take a look at yourself, see what you want to see in you, and then be that. It really is that. It really is that simple. It's a choice.
Right. This makes me think back to one of the first books I read that I can remember. I think I was 8 years old in the 4th grade. My mom gave me the book, The 4 Agreements. Have you ever read that? And one of the 4 agreements is don't take anything personally. And that is something I've remembered since I was a young girl, because it is so easy to do that, right? Number one, people love to play victim, but if someone cuts you off and you get all road rage and free, it might have been an honest mistake, or they didn't see you there, and who cares? But don't take anything personally. That's one thing people could take away.
Yeah, I agree with that. Again, like you said, you don't know what's happening. Maybe there's an emergency. Maybe they have to get somewhere really fast. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it sucked that they cut you off. But in the grand scheme of things, in the grand scheme of life, are you really going to remember that in an hour or 5 hours or next week?
No.
Probably not.
And you know what? Sometimes when drivers piss me off because it happens, or if they flip me off, I wave. I smile and I wave because I want to quit that fire. I'm not going to fuel their fire. And don't think I want to flip them the bird, but I don't want to get to their level either.
Yeah. Yeah.
Totally. On that note, did you see the story recently, Sarah Silverman and her exchange on Twitter with...
I did.
So
I loved it.
Give a little background on that. I don't remember what her comment was, and somebody called her CUNT, and then she gave him love back. And then, so what happened?
Yeah, I don't know all the specifics of it, but the gist of it is that, she posted something on her Twitter, and then a guy commented, again, you are a CUNT. And then Sarah just flipped it around and said, you know what, I'm sorry that you're going through some stuff right now. It feels as though you're going through some stuff. If you need any help, let me know, blah, blah, blah. And he immediately turned back and said, you know what, I apologize for calling you that name. I am going through X, Y, and Z. I don't have a job and I live in this area. And then Sarah replied again, hey guys, if you are in, I can't remember where he's from, let's just say Dallas. If you're in the Dallas area, reach out to Joe. He needs some help. He's a good guy, blah, blah, blah. And then he got a job from that exchange. But she could have responded in a negative way, and it just would have been a whole Twitter war, right? Because those happen all the time. But instead of doing that, she was just like, you know what? I know you're going through some stuff, and I hope it gets better for you. And that's all he needed. Once she said that, he opened up. And I find that in a lot of cases that people just want to be heard and they want to be seen. And if you just look at them and see them, it changes everything. And that's what Sarah did for this guy. And it was a beautiful exchange. And I don't know if it doesn't matter why she did what she did, whether she was being facetious or whether she was being genuine. The way it unfolded was beautiful. And I truly believe that she came from an authentic and sincere place, wanting to help him, because she has transformed her life as well from someone who would, in the past, would have lashed out. But now she's in an area in her life where she's all about, love, unicorns, and roses. And I love that.
For sure. Love unicorns. And I think, something that we're taught as a child is treat people how you want to be treated. And I think at times that can definitely even be difficult for me, because I kind of want to be more like, I'm going to treat you how you treat me.
Yes.
Sometimes it is hard to extend that loving hand or that smile when someone's just a total ass. So do you have any recommendation, or how do you go about, because you can't have a great day every day. So how do you brush things off and still stay in that light, passing the love? Like, how do you do it?
You know, at times it's really hard. And that's when you have your tribe, right? Your people that you can call or vent to, or just be like, let me tell you what happened. And that's important, to have people that you can go to, because like you said, everyone doesn't have a great day all the time. And my friends laugh at me because they're like, you're all about, you know, again, unicorns and blah, blah, blah. Yes, I am. But, you know, people make me upset sometimes. However, again, it's a choice. How do you choose to respond? And sometimes it's walking away. Sometimes it's literally not being around that person anymore because of the energy they are bringing to the group, because you're responsible for your own energy, right? And so if they're bringing constant negative energy, maybe you don't need to be a part of that. And so I've had to let people go because of the path that I'm on. And, you know, back in the day, I was sarcastic as anyone can be, right? I could come back with the quickness and it was no big deal to me. But, you know, at the same time, it was sometimes hurtful. And I was like, this is not the type of person that I want to be. And one of my nieces actually helped me to realize that, because she lived with me. She's in college now. She's a senior in college. But when she was in high school, she lived with me. And I would ask her to do something. And, you know, she was a teenager, so she had all kinds of teenage angst. And one time she said, it's not what you say, it's how you say it. And I was like, you know, whatever. I go in there and clean the kitchen, you know. And she said it several times to me. It's not what you say, it's how you say it. It's not what you say, it's how you say it. And I'm just like, dude, whatever, just go clean your room, right? And so fast forward maybe 8 months to a year after she had told me this several times, someone came to me and, you know, responded in a way that I was like, oh my God, why'd you say it like that? And in that instant, when I thought, why did you say it like that? Her voice came into my mind and said, it's not what you say, it's how you say it, right? And so I choose not to interact in a negative way with people, even though sometimes I'm thinking it. It's a choice to either walk away, and if they're not in a place that they want to have a positive conversation, that's okay too, because you're not going to change anyone's mind by beating them up about it. And so that's what I try to teach my nieces and nephews too. Just because you think you're right and you want to prove that you're right isn't going to change anything. You just make yourself kind of look like a jerk. You know what I mean? And so it's okay to know that you're right and just to walk away. And so I've had to learn that sometimes it's easy just to walk away. And when there are days when it's hard and heavy, to call people in your tribe and say, listen, man, I'm going through this. Let me tell you what happened today. You know, give me some good energy and light, because I need it right now. Because it's all about filling yourself up so that you can go fill other people up. And if you're empty and not full of love and light, you can't emit the love and light either. So that's what I try to do.
I totally agree. And the example I always use for that is, you know, when you're in an airplane and right before they take off, if something should change in cabin pressure and the oxygen mask drops, you always put it on yourself before you can help the person next to you. And I think that's a great realization for life if you're not taking care of yourself. And think about all those, you know, I have some girlfriends who are moms and they're depleted, and it's because, well, you're always giving to the children and the husband and the house and errands. And I think they think it's selfish to take time for themselves, but I'm like, no, it's actually healthy and you need to do that.
Exactly. You hit the nail on the head, because a lot of moms especially feel as though that they can't go get their nails done or they can't go get a massage because they have all of these responsibilities. But if you don't do it, you can't be your full self to your family, to your kids, and to show your kids that it's okay to take time for yourself. Because if they never see that, then how are they supposed to learn that? And it's all about modeling the behavior. And it's in, like, my nieces who are older, I tell them all the time, I'm like, listen, you know, you got to take time for yourself. Give me the babies. Go do what you need to do, because you need this right now. And I think people, again, feel as though they're, like you said, being selfish in that manner, but it's not. You're actually, you know, helping your little world, your community by taking care of yourself. Because if you don't take care of yourself and all of a sudden you're sick, then what happens?
Yeah.
Then what's next, right?
Or in the end, you get so run down or you become resentful. It's just not worth it. So just
Exactly.
that's why I believe I'm all about living a balanced life, and that includes taking care of you. So
Yes,
awesome.
for
All right, so
sure.
I have some questions for you.
Okay.
What is your guilty pleasure?
Ooh. Hallmark Christmas movies.
Me too.
I love those. I have a whole bunch recorded right now, and I could watch them over and over again.
So actually, one of my favorite recent ones is Love on the Slopes, and I totally get made fun of.
Yes.
That was so good. I get made fun of for watching Hallmark, and I don't care. And there are times that I stay in on a Saturday because I would rather watch Hallmark than go out. And I'm
Yeah, me too.
good. Well, good to know. If you had one wish and could have anything, what would you wish for?
Like materialistic or
Whatever you want.
honestly, and it's going to sound corny, but I want everyone just to be nice to each other. I want everyone just to be kind, literally, in the whole world. If I could have one wish and just make people kind, that's what I want.
That would be amazing. What is your theme song? What is your go-to that gets you just in the best mood?
Anything Whitney Houston.
Oh, okay.
I love her. I can listen to her all day, every day, and never get tired.
Do you sing too?
I'm not a good singer, but yes, I do sing. Loud and proud.
Get it, girl. My last question for you is, what is your favorite quote or motto that you live by?
Be kind by any means necessary. So again, like we were talking about before, if that means walking away, then that's the kindest thing that you need to do is walk away. And whatever it takes for you to be kind, do that. And I think if everyone lived by that motto, we would live in a very, very different world.
I love your message, and love what you're spreading. If people want to look you up, what are your social media handles? And I'll include them in the podcast as well. But where can they get a hold of you or follow the movement?
So on Facebook, it's literally just Pass the Love. And Instagram, we're at Pass the Love Now.
Awesome. Lou, thank you so much for coming on. Can't wait.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, I can't wait to see what this develops into.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. Thank you so much. I love what you're doing, by the way. I think it's awesome. And I think, again, we need more people like you doing great things like this to spread the message of love and positivity.
Pay it forward. Thank you, Lou.
Thank you.